Welcome to Fox 26's Town Hall. Your voice, your future. Make a positive impact. Moderating tonight's broadcast, Fox 26 News anchor Liz Gonzalez.
Well, good evening and welcome to our Fox 26 Town Hall, Make a Positive Impact. I'm Liz Gonzalez. We are coming to you live from Miss Winkle's Pet Adoption Center in Clovis, which has been gracious enough to allow us to use this facility to help educate and empower you at home as well as those that are working with our animals, trying to find them homes. This is one of many shelters in our area that need relief. They've got animals, they need homes. Those animals need homes and they want spaces so they can bring even more animals that we see on our streets as we drive to and fro. This is an exceptionally timely issue, especially considering 4th of July is just around the corner, and that means a lot of families will inevitably experience a lost pet. That's happened to me. I know it's happened to many others at home, but thankfully we had a wonderful reunion thanks to wonderful shelters. Over the next hour, we're going to dive deep into this issue. This is what we're going to be exploring. We're going to explore how have we gotten to where we are, to this crisis that we're facing. What are the biggest problems that our area shelters are facing? What do people need to know if they are considering adoption? And what are some of the solutions that are in the works, or solutions that perhaps will be brought up, and ideas that maybe hopefully will get in the ear of somebody that's got influence and power to help make things happen. Throughout the hour, we are also going to show you some wonderful pets ready to be adopted by you. Some of them, by the way, at a special rate that we've been able to get through the help of some of these agencies that are helping us tonight. And hopefully you'll be able to take home one of these wonderful pets. Again, we are grateful to have a panel of experts joining us to provide insight on this issue. Kaylee Bader is the Marketing and Communications Coordinator for Clovis Animal Services and Miss Winkle's Pet Adoption Center. She works to increase the visibility of adoptable pets to help find their forever homes. She also promotes the work of the Clovis Animal Response Team and how the Receiving and Care Center team helps stray animals become adoptable pets and lost pets find their way back home. Ruben Cantu is the Animal Care Adoption Supervisor for Valley Animal Center. He has been in the animal care field since 2015 and has worked at Valley Animal Center since 2016. His goals are to help educate the Fresno community about the importance of spaying and neutering and to help dogs and cats who need a second chance and find a forever home. Crystal Woodward is the founder of Pinky Paws Search and Rescue. She is a pet detective, a canine handler, works in lost pet recovery services, and is in advanced training for pet trailing. She has 17 years experience in animal control, animal behavior, and rehabilitation. Over the last 10 years, she and her husband have rescued animals in urgent need, including professional trapping, freeway missions. We've showed you some of those here on Fox 26, as well as car accidents. And Mindy Miller is the Vice President of Animal Rescue of Fresno, known to many in the community simply as ARF. She's a certified vet assistant involved with ARF for 17 years and is also the volunteer coordinator. Thank you all so much for being here with us. Well, here is where we are nationwide. According to the annual Shelter Animals Count report in 2023, 3.3 million dogs, 3.2 million cats entered shelters or rescues. Of these, 4.8 million were adopted into loving homes. 690,000 were euthanized. This was across nearly 14,500 animal shelter organizations. Where do things stand locally? Ruben, as soon as I mentioned that report, you started nodding your head, familiar with it. I'll start with you. Where do things stand right now locally?
Yeah, so the Shelter Animal Counts report that you just mentioned for 2023, actually, I just read something today that says right now, as of 2024, California is the highest ranked state for euthanasias as a percentage for what's incoming into the shelters. And so, as you can see, that number, at least for California, is growing. And for Valley Animal Center itself, just for dogs alone, we've seen an 80% increase in dog intake in just this year alone. And so the numbers aren't weathering towards our favor. It's definitely still an increasing battle for cats and dogs alike.
And it's not for a lack of trying to put the message out there. Kaylee, what are you seeing here?
Well, I think for Clovis Animal Services, because we are a municipal shelter, we have the obligation to take in injured and sick and animals that are needing that immediate assistance. And so owner surrenders are not always something that we can take into our care. And so what we do is do our best to partner with the community and give them the resources to kind of foster the dog if need be for the time being until we can find a spot for them, or sometimes it even eventually ends up in an adoption with someone else other than the finder. So we do the best we can.
We're going to delve more into surrenders in a little bit. Mindy, during the pandemic, we saw so many people. It was the thing to do. I'm working at home by myself. I'm going to go get a pet. We were really clearing the kennels, so to speak. People were adopting them. But is the uptick we're seeing now still related to COVID, or has that come and gone and we're on to something even bigger?
I think honestly it's some of COVID, but not as much. There's so much more going on and so many multi-levels going on that we can't even grasp just one problem. It's multiple problems that we have to face. In rescues and shelters, we're all seeing the craziness, if you will, of people losing their jobs and can't care for their animals anymore, losing their homes, and they can't take dogs into a home that already has existing dogs, so they're faced with making heartbreaking decisions.
And it stinks because you have so many people who are willing to take them in, but if the dogs don't get along, it becomes a very difficult decision.
It does, and we can understand that situation. You have a family that may not has a dog that may not get along with other dogs, and you can't bring your dog, so you're faced with making decisions.
And sometimes you find the blessings in that, because that's how our dog wound up with us. Was the first
Yes.
home didn't quite work out, but we're happy with her. Crystal, do we find that most of the dogs on the street are strays, or are they runaways? Is there anything that people can look at? Are there any telltale signs, anything people should look for?
You can't really tell anymore because a lot of the shelters are telling people to dump the dogs because they can't take them in unless, like animal controls, unless they're injured. And so you can't always assume they're dumped, but lately it's more that they are dumped. I mean, a lot of the ones we can tell is their behaviors, so we study their behaviors, and a lot come from abuse and neglect cases. But again, I mean, there's some of them, they're like the diamond in the rough. I mean, Clovis, the harness dog, he was perfect in every way. I mean, to us, they're all perfect. But, I mean, you can't tell. But we just encourage people to step up and help us, to help the animals. As the end result, we need fosters, we need adopters, we need all of that. And a lot of people are rehoming, but we try to get involved there and make sure that they're vaccinated and spayed and neutered at the same time, so it's not adding to that long-term pet overpopulation, and trying to just help in any way possible.
It's something you want to handle as responsibly as possible.
Exactly.
So, Kaylee, we were talking about this a second ago. What does someone do if they find a dog? Because in the past, again, thinking, oh, gee, Wally, you pick up a puppy, you take it to the shelter, and they'll, hopefully find help, or you call animal control. That's not the case anymore. Again, in this case, what does Clovis ask people to do?
So with Clovis Animal Services, we ask you just give us a call. If you find an animal, a dog or a cat, if you call us, we can give you more personalized assistance with what to do going forward. Sometimes we ask you to hold on to the pet for a foster situation, and we'll give you those supplies to kind of help with that situation. But really, we ask that you post it on social media, on your Nextdoor and your Ring apps. Clovis Animal Services has developed, because of this issue, developed a map and an interactive listing service that you can post, and not just Clovis animals, but all animals in the area, you can post when you found or have lost a pet. So it's yet another resource for people to be able to look at and see, maybe my dog was lost in one area, and you can kind of see in that area what animals have been lost or found, and it hopefully helps get pets back to their owners fast.
I was going to say, you can also track trends that way, too. I mean, we know these boutique dogs, and people really like certain breeds. Ruben, people have been known, having done work with you guys before, people have been known to just simply dump boxes of puppies right at your gate, or they'll literally dump the box of puppies over the gate, or just leave it right there. What would you rather people do?
And that happens more often than I think the folks watching can imagine. It's almost a daily, weekly basis at least. But I would say to my partner next to me's point is talk to us, have a conversation with us, because a lot of the times, I'll be honest, we can't help on a day's notice, especially when, like right now, I have 70 dogs in care, over 150 cats. On a day's notice, it's hard to take 6, 7 puppies, but if you come and have a conversation with me and I could help get you started on the process of getting these animals taken care of, making sure that they're healthy to come into my environment, because there's a lot of disease and sickness that spreads throughout shelter environments. So taking a puppy that's never had a vaccine in its life, putting it in an environment with 100 other animals, that's a mixture of disaster for some animals. And so, but having a conversation with us and letting us help help us help you, I think, is the biggest thing. Because it's just as an example, I had a literal dying puppy left on our doorstep about a week ago. No note, no information, no nothing. Had that family simply came and had a conversation with us, helped us understand what that puppy was going through and dealing with, we could have helped, and we may have been able to help that puppy survive. Unfortunately, that puppy didn't make it, but that's one of many occasions where we have found even deceased animals at our gate, and we're left to wonder whether or not that animal was left that way, or if it ended up in that tragic position because we didn't find it in time, and that's a problem.
Surrenders, we were saying, are a very big issue. Mindy, you said that you get 20 to 50 calls a week from people looking to surrender a pet.
And sometimes, depending on the week, it could be more than that. Yeah, and everybody is frustrated. And unfortunately, they are trying places, but they want us to do something today, now. And like Ruben is explaining, our shelters, our rescues are full. And to help you, which we will do our best, we need time to move dogs around, get them adopted, find a foster. We work endlessly trying to find fosters. And then sometimes we can spend 2-3 days trying to get a foster situation going, and then that person doesn't show up, or has done something else. But it's frustrating on both levels. We want to help when we can help, but when you come right now, I need help today, this minute, sometimes we can't just do that, And we feel, every phone call you get, it just takes a part away from you. And at the end of the day, at the end of the week, you're just as mentally drained as possible. But you still have to greet that person on the phone with compassion because they don't understand what we're going through on the phone. And obviously, I'm not in their shoes either. And I try to think that what I do. But, it's just very hard, and I wish there was better answers right now, but the answer is trying to give us some time. We understand you're in situations, but if you can give us a couple of days or talk to us, and instead of saying now, today, this minute, or dropping them off, maybe we can help. And if we can't help, we try to find somewhere else to go, I give a list of shelters or rescues, not even in Fresno, out of Fresno, to try to help people because they want somebody to call. They need someone to help them.
It's the help need for
Now.
help is immediate.
Yeah.
Crystal, again, the same thing. People see rescue and they're like, okay, you can help.
Yes, we get messages all day, every day, and again, just trying to sympathize with them and explain to them what we're all going through because they don't understand as well, and just talking to them and giving them a little bit of help. They really appreciate that. Okay, I understand. I said, well, at least I can post on my page. Give me a picture, information. A lot of them don't do it because some of them don't want to do the work, but we need them to help us to work together. I think a lot of people that find animals should put up a flyer where they find that animal because a lot of people don't have social media or they're not going to see it here. So if you have where you found that animal and if the owner happens to see it when they're looking for their animal, it's a little easier for them to help with pet retention and lost pet recovery, what we're focused on.
You see that, it makes me think of the seniors I see walking in our neighborhood.
Yes.
We're not too far from the senior community, and most of them, chances are probably not on social media. Yes. Ruben, you were telling me the Valley Animal Center makes a very big deal out of having that commitment talk with prospective applicants when they want to adopt an animal. What do you really want to hammer home to people that might be thinking, okay, there are a lot of these pets need homes. I want to help. What do they need to know?
It's so easy to fall in love with a dog or a cat. Anytime you walk into a shelter, I do it a dozen times a day with my animals out there. But, it's the commitment side of it. For almost any dog or cat, you can almost guarantee 5-10 years out of that animal. And maybe that's not the case, but you have to be prepared to that. If you adopted a puppy today, some breeds can live up to 15 plus years, and you have to be prepared for that because the last thing that pet's ever going to want to do is go through our care again, go through our system again, and have to be into a kennel, loud shelter environment. But also to what the lengths that Valley Animal Center does is sometimes we do multiple meet and greets. Sometimes we have multiple interactions with the family members. We require sometimes everybody in the home, no matter the whether they're there once a week. If they're in the home, they need to come down and meet the dog.
Paint a complete picture.
Exactly. And sometimes it happens in one visit. Sometimes it takes 5-6 visits. But our commitment doesn't only stop there. You know, if you adopt a dog with us, at least at Valley Animal Center, we offer free training. We have free dog park passes. The staff is fully available for any question, concern, and we're fully open about the animals that are leaving our center. You know, we work with scared dogs a lot. I think you said it earlier. You know, most of the dogs that are coming to our care are coming from a life of fear, abuse, neglect. You know, occasionally we do get really good dogs in our care, but most people aren't giving up good dogs. That's just the reality of the shelter environment, you know. And I'm not saying that the dogs that come through our care are bad. I'm saying that they have things that need to be adjusted. And so there's a lot of work that comes with that. And I think we're all familiar with the 3-3-3 rule. You know, it takes 3 days to decompress, 3 weeks to start to adjust, and 3 months to finally start to feel comfortable. And that's lucky for some dogs. You know, I have dogs that spend years in my care that are as scared as day one, but it's finding the right fit for them, making sure that that fit understands everything that's going to come with that animal, and then what we can do to help avoid that animal ever coming back into our care.
Okay. We are looking at the issue of overcrowded kennels from all angles. Coming up, we're going to break down the cost of ownership, what other challenges are ahead for our area shelters, and we're going to be also providing some information about upcoming microchipping clinics for free and low cost ahead of 4th of July. And again, we're not just focusing on the crowded kennels themselves, but we also want you at home to be part of the solution. We've partnered with the groups that we have here today to show you some pets, loving pets in need of a home. The first batch of pets that you're seeing is from Valley Animal Center, which has generously agreed to offer these for an adoption fee of $26 through Sunday. Just mentioned that you saw these specific pets. They have their names on there too on this show. If you're interested, you can call the number on your screen and provide that pet's name. We've got pets including Jimmy, who is a terrier mix, around 2 years old. Absolutely adorable, so social, but very quick to correct others when they get in his face. Blitz is a terrier mix. He's about a year old. We're told he's fairly shy. He's still waiting to get fixed. He's not quite ready, but he is available for foster to adopt. Again, it's not just adoption that we're talking about tonight, but we also, if you find it in your heart and you think I can help out a puppy for a little bit, fosters are always needed. And take a look at Gunner. We love Gunner. Gunner is a nearly 3-year-old German Shepherd mix. Gunner clearly needs a large yard to burn off energy. He is being trained with a few cues, but again, want to remind you, if you want to open up your heart to Gunner, you can take him home. Adoption, $26 through Sunday. We'll be right back.
You're watching Fox 26's Town Hall. Your voice, your future. Make a positive impact. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Fox 26's Town Hall. Your voice, your future. Make a positive impact.
Ham, one of the adoptable pets at Animal Rescue of Fresno. Ham clearly is a boxer mix with so much personality. The adoption fee on Ham, we are told, is $50. So if you're interested, you've got the number there on your screen where you can give them a call and hopefully take home some ham. Why not? Betty White is a terrier mix. She's around 2 years old. We're told that Betty has been at our for over a year, waiting for the right family, and maybe it's yours. The adoption fee on Betty White is also $50. And we've got Maximus. Maximus has also been with our for over a year. Maximus is almost 2 years old, a beautiful shepherd mix, and the adoption fee for him as well, for Maximus, is also $50. And if you're interested, you can call that number on your screen. I don't think anybody will be there to answer the phone, but please leave a message, and I'm sure they will happily get back to you if you want to open your home to any of these adorable pets. We want to welcome you back to the Fox 26 Town Hall. Again, in this case, we're making a positive impact. The last thing we want to do is discourage adoptions, but as we mentioned, it is so important to know what you're getting yourself into. According to a survey from Shelter Animals Count, which looked at the top reasons there are fewer adoptions, the big reason, number one, the state of the economy. That is followed by general adoption interest declining, weight and breed restrictions set by landlords, and rounding out the top four, breeders taking adopters away. Ruben, here with Valley Animal Center, was kind enough to compile a list of the expected costs for taking in a new puppy. Again, want to emphasize new puppy. This is without any clinical work done. This includes the cost for services at the price that they would pay, that you would pay over at Valley Animal Center and their clinic. The exam fee, $40. Parvo vaccines, which is a DA2 PPV, $68 for a full set. Bordetella, $17. Rabies, $17. Flea and tick prevention for a whole year, about $144. Microchips, $25. Spay and neuter, anywhere between $130 and $300, depending on the size. That brings you to a total for the first year of somewhere around between $466 and $616. Adoptions of Valley Animal Center, by the way, are around $200 for puppies, but that includes everything we already mentioned, so a big deal compared to the price we mentioned. But from time to time, donations can help offset the costs to as low as $5 when people have been kind enough to donate in order to get these shelters cleared. Mindy, we have heard that overcrowding the shelters isn't exclusively an intentional breeding problem anymore. It now seems to be a poverty problem, in that it's hard for families to afford them now, because if it's between putting food on your table or feeding your pet.
Yeah, it's a lack of a lot, but yeah, some poverty problems come into play. Partly not being able to find a veterinary cost that's a little bit lower, where they can still get quality care but not pay higher price. That doesn't mean higher price is bad, just that they're having trouble getting the things needed for a dog. They want a dog, they have a dog, but they just can't afford to get them spayed or neutered. Luckily, there are a lot of programs out there that offer low-cost spay and neuter. I know Valley Animal Center does a great job, and there's a few others. CCSPCA does low-cost. There's California Spay, Spay and Neuter that recently just took off. And the city had grants, I think, where they got a ticket or something, voucher, and they were able to get their pets spayed and neutered. So I think we need some more of those out there to help people. And there are people that, unfortunately lost their jobs, but they have a dog and there might be health issues. So it's not just the spay and neuters, it's health issues too. They have to make a choice of putting food on the table or buying medication for themselves if they're sick, and then to take their dog and get their dog fixed for whatever's wrong. We had a lady that called up, and sadly her niece did not spay the dog. It ended up pregnant. The puppies passed away, but she couldn't afford to do the next steps. She didn't have money to have the emergency C-section, then spay, and she was getting quoted ridiculous amounts, and when she called places, she was getting the runaround. So I gave her a few alternatives to do, to call vets, not change alternative herself. They called me back and then thanked me for giving them the information, because my spending time gave them a little bit better direction. They were thinking they had to euthanize the dog. They did find a veterinarian that worked with them, and they found ways to using Facebook to raise some funds to get the dog taken care of.
I seem to just see a lot of you just nodding your heads, because, again, this is an issue that you're seeing. We were talking about surrenders earlier. A lot of families, they say they just can't. Are we seeing that more and more?
We are seeing it, and some of the veterinarians are suggesting, instead of euthanizing, call a rescue and see if the rescue can take on the dogs. A lot of rescues can't take on a lot of medical cases. I know we've taken a few on, and we've handled them, and we fundraised through the help of generous donations, thank goodness for our supporters. But, we always aren't going to have someone saying, okay, here's another one. So we have to figure a way to help these people and the dogs and the cats.
It used to be that there were, I remember seeing a lot more about low-cost spay and neuter services available, but there seems to have been a shift since COVID, because you hear that there might not be as many doctors as there were before. Some of them were sort of forced into retirement, early retirement. Are there enough doctors, and how does this delay your ability to get animals out? Ruben?
Yeah, there's definitely a doctor shortage for the veterinarian field, and at least the way that affects Valley Animal Center. So we have an amazing spay neuter program, but the way that spay and neuter program works for Valley Animal Center is we're not actually facilitating those surgeries for public clients. The way that we operate is we help our rescue partners, and so we help, I think, about 10 different rescues with spay neuter operations to make sure that their animals can be available and ready for adoption once they get through that surgery. Now, the way that affects a shelter, at least like Valley Animal Center, is even though I'm there every day, we have animals on site every day, I get 2 days a month for surgery, and we share the rest of that time with our rescue partners, because there's a bigger mission to what Valley Animal Center does than just for our animals. You know, we want to help as many as we can. But with that being said, it does. Sometimes if I lose a day out of my 2 days, my animals have to wait another 2-3 weeks before I can process them through that surgery. Now, I'm fortunate enough that if we have a drop day from another rescue, I get to just fill that. You know, not everybody's that lucky. We're very lucky to have that opportunity. But on schedule, I get 2 days a month to fix my animals, and I have 2 full-time doctors on our staff to help us take care of that. And that's where that really affects shelters like us, and not everybody's fortunate enough to have a doctor on staff.
Crystal, you see some of the animals in the worst of conditions. How hard have you found it in order to find a doctor, a vet that's available? Because you do have a wide network, but at the same time, the cost is pretty high, and the availability, I'm sure, is also
Actually,
difficult.
we're lucky with
Okay.
Alta Animal Hospital. He's there late for us for those intense rescue missions, and he's affordable and works with us. And we've been blessed with supporters all over the world that do help us. Now, our long-term goal is to have an actual fund to help people with vet bills. And I don't give up, so that will happen eventually, even if it's with my pet detective services once I'm certified. But it's a need to help people with vet bills, and we still encourage people to come to us because we can post, we can help, we can educate them. There are some grants, and so because I've been looking for help when we have these intense cases, so people can come to us, and we'll do our best to help them out.
So I guess the bottom line is if somebody's having issues finding spaying or neutering on their own, they can also call, even if they just want to reach out and say, are there any other resources that you know about? We don't want people to give up. What would be the best advice, again, if they think, okay, I've got my mind made up, I'm going to do this, but then they realize I can't keep the puppy after I just shelled out all this money? Call you guys?
I would say initiate a conversation. Like I said, even if we, like we stated earlier, don't have the ability to help that day, we might be able to point you in the direction of a shelter. There aren't a ton of them out there now, but there are some breed-specific rescues. Let's say it's a Yorkie. You might be able to find a Yorkie rescue that's not in our area. Another big one that we're seeing is the Belgian Malinois. Those are popping up everywhere. They're that new, I don't like using the word fad of a dog, but it is. It's like,
It's the law enforcement dog. It's what the German
canine.
Shepherd used to be.
Exactly.
And it's now the Belgian Malinois. I'm going to piggyback on that, what you just said. Are there any so-called designer breeds? There are so-called designer breeds that we're seeing out there right now, but are there any constant costs involved with some of these designer breeds that people may not realize? Kaylee?
Well, yeah, I mean, like with the French Bulldogs, we've had those in
Frenchies
our
are
care.
hot.
Yeah, the Frenchies are they're popular and they're high desirable, but they do have some medical conditions, skin conditions, breathing conditions that maybe people don't really realize until they have one or have experienced one.
Any other breeds that you guys are seeing?
I would even say, even out of the designer breed, one of the most popular breeds out there, pit bulls, are notorious for skin issues. Yeasty skin, bad ear infections constantly. You can almost expect one of those things if you have a pit bull. It's just that. So, and that's not considered a designer brand. But then you look at dogs like English bulldogs, French bulldogs, boxers, or we talked about Ham earlier. Boxers are very prone to a lot of medical issues, and we like I said, we do our best to explain those things when we're working with families so they understand what that commitment looks like long term. But with any dog, whether it's a 5-pound Chihuahua or a 100-pound Mastiff, you're going to deal with constant costs no matter what.
I'm thinking of the pugs as well because they don't do too well in the heat. We love pugs. You've got a pug that's been following you around quite a bit if you follow you on social media. And now the thing is, again, when people are adopting a dog, then they say, I want a healthy one. Are you finding that actually mixed breed pups are healthier than purebreds? Is there any truth to that? I see Mindy sort of like,
there are people, there's things out there that will say that, yeah, but like I said, even with a mixed breed, or whatever dog, things like foxtails happen. Again, your dog likes to swim, guaranteed you're going to deal with ear infections. That's just one of those things, and there are preventatives to take care of those things, but also it's with any dog. Like I said, whether it's ear stuff, eye stuff, joint stuff, you're going to deal with those things at some point in that dog's life, especially after the age of about 5 or 6. And with large breed dogs, sometimes even earlier, you start seeing hip issues at 3.
You hear about dog insurance. Is that actually a good investment?
100%, I would say do it.
Just say yes. Well, it is time for another break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the steps that you should take in the event that your pet runs away. 4th of July is not that far. We're also going to tell you about low-cost microchipping events that are coming up. Again, we want to share some resources. But as we go to break, here is a look at some more adoptable pets available right now. These ones available at Fresno Humane Services. It's also generously agreed to offer these for an adoption fee of $26 through Sunday. If you're interested, call the number on your screen. We'll be right back.
You're watching Fox 26's Town Hall. Your voice, your future. Make a positive impact. We'll be right back.
And welcome back. We are talking tonight about finding homes for thousands of animals, and you are looking at some of the adorable adoptable pets from Miss Winkles in Clovis. Any of these ready to go home with you, to join your family, to make memories this summer. They're ready to go on walks with you, road trips with you, run through the sprinklers. Miss Winkles has been gracious enough to offer these pets at an adoption fee of $26 through Sunday. If there are any of these that interest you, you want to learn more about them, learn about their demeanor, how they get along with others, all you have to do is note the pet's name there on your screen and call the number. And by the way, if you miss any of these, we've provided pictures for all of these pets on our website at kmph.com. That is already up there, so there's no stopping you other than the fact that you're watching this. And welcome back again. We're talking about finding homes. It is safe to say, though, at one point that some of these pets were in homes, belonged to families who cared about them, but somehow wound up on the streets. So, Crystal, what steps should people take when their pet runs away? Used to be flyers and checking shelters, but there are so many other resources available. Technology is available now. What steps should people take? I know you mentioned posting them in the neighborhoods, but beyond that.
Definitely bright flyers with something simple that you're driving and you see lost dog and the phone number, because people aren't going to sit there and read, all this small. It's just, it'll reach more. The Nextdoor app, Ring app, Facebook, all of that. Just do all of that. Well, and we're doing the lost pet recovery. We're always on call 24/7. So I am a pet detective, and I have my canine that's in training, advanced training for pet trailing. So that's basically, she takes their scent item and she'll find where the animal went. Now it's a team because I have to read her as well. And scent, there's a lot of factors with scent, the weather, the asphalt, the walls where scent clings to. So we will be providing those services slowly and fully into 2025, but we're also available for the 4th of July lost animals as well. And with those microchips, please register those.
We'll be talking about that in a minute.
Are not.
Don't step on my feet there, Crystal.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
You're stepping on my toes here. No, just kidding. But again, the bottom line is, like you said, if you're making flyers, don't make them complicated. People do not have time to read all of that. And if I can suggest something, if you can print up color flyers, not just bright color flyers, but I mean a color picture of your pet works great.
Yes.
Having lost one of my dogs, the only thing that brought him back was that he had pink nose.
Yes.
That was the one thing, the one telltale sign. Chris,
Yeah.
let me ask you, Kaylee, is there anything else that you're recommending to families when a pet is missing? Do they just need to constantly check the shelters as well? Or like you said, Nextdoor, but the map seems to work pretty well.
Yeah, that's a relatively new rollout for us, but it's been successful. We do have pets being reunited because of that, because you can directly contact the finder through the website, so you don't have to interact with them any way other than through our site. So that's been successful. Obviously, checking microchips and being microchipped. I know we're going to talk about that more, but like actually being microchipped is probably the biggest hurdle that we have. So all of our pets are once we adopt them out, but if you get them from other places or from a private area, like, you're not necessarily guaranteed being chipped. So
having a microchip is not enough. Ruben, you told me if you don't register, it doesn't make a difference.
Not at all. It works like an empty envelope. If you search that tag or you search that chip and you call the company, they're like, we have no registered owner information. It turns into a goose hunt of trying to figure out, okay, who did the microchip company sell this chip to? And then they're going to tell you, oh, it was a vet company out of Fresno. That's maybe the wholesaler that's selling them. And then they may be able to tell you the clinic that sold them, but sometimes the clinic doesn't have accurate owner information. And again, you go in loops and loops and hurdles to try and get this dog home, when had that registration been done at the time of purchase or adoption or whatever it was, it would be as simple as calling you saying, hey, we have your dog, and facilitating it getting picked up. It happens all the time that you get an animal with no owner information in it, and it does no good. Like a tag at that point does more use for the animal. If it's physical, it's on its neck, it has a number to call or an address. But again, if you move and you don't register your pet's information, they're going to call your old phone number. They're going to call your old address or visit your old address. And then they're, again, lost at where to figure out how to get the pet back home.
It becomes one of those things on a moving checklist.
Exactly.
As important as you unpacking this and making sure you change your address with the post office. Go ahead, Crystal.
And not individuals, there's a lot of them that are finding animals and they can't get that information because there's privacy holds, so only the rescues or the shelters can get that information. So you really think they're going to jump through all those hoops in addition?
How complicated is it to update a microchip? Is it just a matter of you have to hold on to the information to get in contact with the group, right?
Most are really easy to register. Like for Valley Animal Center, we use a company called FeeNano. It's a free registration, works super easy with the smartphone, takes about 5 minutes to do, and then it's free for life. Unless don't quote me on this. I believe unless you're changing your information often, like 3 times within a year, there may be a service fee for that. But from my understanding, you get once a year information change if necessary, but it's a super simple program. But there's also other things to keep in mind for microchip companies that not all are free. Some have an annual membership that you have to pay. I believe one of my dogs is about $75 a month, or not a month, excuse me, a year, $75 a year to keep up to date and to keep registered. Or if I don't pay that, they don't include that information if he gets scanned, and that can be the difference of getting your dog home or your dog ending up in a shelter facility where it gets adopted out to somebody else or sent to another rescue. The stray hold in California, I believe 72 hours. You might be able to say that.
Is it 72?
Hours.
Okay. How often are you finding the pets that are coming in through are actually microchipped, and those microchips are actually up to date?
Not enough.
No,
I was going to say not enough. You will get someone who finds a dog and it's chipped, but mostly it's not updated or there's no information. And like you said, we can track it back to a veterinarian, and then they're like, I don't know. Or we find that someone gave the dog away, sold it, whatever. I hate to say it, but that's the truth, you know. But the bottom line is that chip is still going back to the original owner. So if the dog ends up in a shelter, they're going to call the original owner. So just take a few minutes. I mean, we're June 19th. You have plenty of time. There's no reason to not update the microchip. I have to say, if that's one of the biggest pet peeves, it's not having a microchip information updated. And there's no reason that you can't do that.
And the adoption fees all include microchips?
Ours does.
Everybody, and they're
And
updated.
we
You help out with the
register it.
registration too?
We register it.
Okay, so that's one less thing that people at home have to worry about as well. Okay, so now people know what they need to do when they have the microchips, and if you're going to sell your dog to somebody else, include that information there. Not that you want to, but sometimes you find yourself in situations. If your pet needs a microchip, panelists, again, if they already have an animal, but it needs a microchip, can they also reach out to your organizations for that service? Not yet.
We don't provide that.
Okay, no problem,
Yeah.
but we've provided others here, and that's
But
a good thing.
we direct them where they can go.
Yeah, and again, it's a simple, the dogs don't feel pain. In fact, they don't even feel it. Okay, so we've got at least 3 different organizations here that you can turn to for help or some direction in terms of getting that microchip in time for 4th of July, or why wait until then? Let's take a look at some of the other agencies across the valley offering free or low-cost services. Fresno Animal Center is offering free drive-through microchipping tags and collars for people in Fresno this Saturday and Sunday from 8 to noon. They're located off of Airways Boulevard behind the airport. That's first come, first serve. For those in Coalinga, Gimme Love Animal Shelter offers free microchipping Monday through Friday for dogs in Coalinga at 150 West Elm. Valley Oak SPCA in Visalia offering $20 microchipping special through July 3rd. You just have to schedule it online. We've provided a link for you on kmph.com in the story that is already up on our website. Madera, North Valley Animal Services offering free microchips to all Madera County residents. For those who don't live in Madera County but are thinking, I'm driving by, it's $20. It's $20. For that, you can call the number on your screen for other information and for locations. They're also offering those at the shelter, but they've got a traveling clinic all over the county. A lot of area to cover there. And Tulare County Animal Services offering $10 microchips starting June 24th through the June 24th through July 3rd. So we've got that information right there. Those are from 10 to 4 at the shelter on Avenue 256. It is time for another break. When we come back,
Humans have owned pets for all recorded history, and most people consider pets to be part of their families. Like it or not, pet ownership is not going away anytime soon.
Sacramento lawmakers look to address one issue leading to more pets in shelters. What that issue is and where that legislation stands, that is coming up next.
Future. Make a positive impact. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Fox 26's Town Hall. Your voice, your future. Make a positive impact.
We're looking at search and rescue from the most severe of situations. These are pups ready to experience love, ready to join a family, ready to belong. At least one of these pups was found on the center median of Highway 99. It survived. These are all available for adoption from Pinky Paws, offering them for a $26 adoption fee through Sunday. If you missed any of these, or you want to take a look at maybe some of the other pets that we've had, or you want to take a closer look at their pictures, you can find those featured tonight on our website at kmph.com. The story about tonight's town hall, all that information is there. Well, as I mentioned moments ago, solutions are in the works to at least one aspect of this issue, and that is the number of dogs surrendered as a result of housing that doesn't allow pets. It is a problem even lawmakers in Sacramento say they have experienced.
We were turned down from over 6 different locations because of Darius. My fiance is a trademark and copyright attorney, and at the time I was the majority leader of the California State Assembly. And we were denied housing because we had an incredibly well-trained, sweet dog.
One of the main strategies the state has used to address our housing crisis is to build more housing. But restrictive pet policies end up excluding millions of people across the state from this housing because they have a pet.
That is Assemblymember Matt Haney of San Francisco, who is the author of Assembly Bill 2216. That bill already cleared the Assembly and is now going before a Senate committee next Tuesday. AB 2216 would require landlords in California to allow all pets. But there is an exception for apartment complexes with 15 or fewer units. The pet owner would be required to carry liability insurance, make sure their pet is up to date on vaccines and licensed. Landlords could charge pet rent of $50 a month for each additional pet, but not the first pet. And they could ask for a security deposit of up to 50% of rent, not to exceed $1,000. So this one solution in the works in Sacramento to help, in this case, 2 different crises, because you've got people who can't find housing and you've got people who can't find housing for their pets as well. So what role, if any, do you guys think that lawmakers could play in this issue? I guess this one will open them to everybody. Kaylee, is there anything that you think needs to be done, anything that needs to be enforced or greater accountability?
Just looking at it from all perspectives and understanding the human element of, people are trying to find housing, but they also need housing for their pets too. And it does affect the shelters when, they unfortunately can't keep their pet, and that's heartbreaking for them and it's heartbreaking for the pet. So it's just, there's a lot that goes on in that decision process. Any
other role you think lawmakers could play in this? Not just when it comes to housing, but just the shelter crisis we're seeing.
I think the hard part about this conversation is especially, but it's because irresponsible ownership is what affects this truly. It's, it's not the good dogs that can't find homes. It's the ones that are allowing their dogs to run at large. They're not properly socialized or behaved around other animals, people. They see a cat, they get after it. Things like that really affect when housing markets and different landlord ownerships are willing to let these, especially breed restrictions is such a big thing. I mean, I'm excited of the idea of opening up the ability for renters to be able, because it's the biggest thing we see when it comes to rehoming animals. But I think there's a bigger issue behind this that needs to be addressed. And like you said earlier, there's multiple layers to this conversation when it comes to how lawmakers can best help. But I think they're in the right direction, and they're looking at it for the best of the pet and the people in this situation.
Crystal?
I agree. I can see both sides, the irresponsible pet owners and then the ones that, are the responsible ones. So.
And you were saying?
I think it's the same thing. I mean, unfortunately, in any situation, bad always ruins it for good, no matter what situation we're talking about. And this is an opportunity that will help some people push forward, and that's a bonus, but it's getting it through that's going to be the challenge.
You mentioned earlier in this town hall that sometimes you have to look out of town in order to find help for people, and that's something that we've seen with all our shelters here in this area. Are out-of-state shelters still helping ease the load, or are they starting to see issues as well? And what types of dogs are the ones that tend to find homes out of state?
So actually, we're starting to see other people call us from other states and counties that are affected as well. So it's not just a California issue anymore. Everybody's like, oh, it's a Fresno issue. It's a Madera. It's now starting to affect other counties and other states. We got calls and they're begging us to take their dogs, and I said, we have the same problem, we have the same situation here, and they had no clue because it's not being talked about enough, and everybody just thinks it's socialized, it's in this one area. It's not. Everybody's starting to see it, and we're starting to see it in different states, and eventually I think we'll see it in a lot more states than we think.
Crystal, I see you nodding in agreement.
It's really sad. A lot of these cities, like I went to Bakersfield for a bunch of animals, mama and 3 puppies that were abandoned. It's just so sad to see how I feel like it's worse there, but it's all over. And we don't have a lot of out-of-state connections because most of our animals are rehab from abuse and neglect, so we rehab them ourselves while we have them. But there's only 2 of us, of course. And we have 2 out-of-state rehab. One was a waiting list 2.5 years for 2 of ours. The other one was taking every year and hasn't been able to in Nevada because of it's hitting them as well. And it's very, very, very difficult, and it's very sad and heartbreaking.
And I know with Valley Animal Center, we recently profiled one that just went to Texas, but sometimes you see these planes that sometimes come in. Are we still seeing that, or is that sort of dwindled down?
Absolutely. Even as a nonprofit rescue center like myself, where I operate as I go to different municipal shelters and we help with animals that are running out of time in there. And the thing is, I get good dogs all the time. You guys might have featured Enzo with us in the past.
We did.
Enzo was a beautiful boxer mix, the sweetest dog in the world. He spent like 6 months with us, and he's a great, we don't use the word perfect a lot, but he was a perfect dog, good with everything across the board. We were really considering finding a rescue out of state because we couldn't find anybody that was willing to give him an opportunity because he's a large pit bull boxer mix, and it's even as a rescue organization like myself, have had to look for help elsewhere, and that it's getting tougher. I think on average there's a load of about 75 animals every 2 weeks that are leaving our county into other states, and that's probably a low end number of that. There's probably a lot more than that are kind of behind the scenes, and it's eventually, I think, going to get to a point where we can't keep up. And I think we've all said it at least multiple times in our life. They're breeding them faster than we can save them and replace them, and that's the absolute reality of the situation here in Fresno. They're bred faster than we can help them.
Kaylee, anything in terms of, are you guys finding that thankfully there are still some connections out of state or out of the area that you're able to find homes?
Well, short of someone coming from out of the area, we're a municipal shelter, so we don't really have that ability to go far beyond. So that's why working with these guys and all the other rescues and other shelters in our area is so critical, because they are the supporting system for the municipal shelters here in the area.
Turning to the nonprofits, clearly our shelters are overwhelmed with a high volume of dogs. We've talked a lot about dogs, but also cats. How long can operations continue if these numbers keep up?
You're absolutely correct. We deal with twice as many cats as we do dogs, but if we're being fully open about the situation, it's not long. It's as a rescue organization, I'm sure I speak for a lot of rescues out there. We're constantly running in the red. We're not a luxurious business that's making hundreds of thousands on our services. We're staying afloat, but that gets difficult, especially when the cost of living is for everybody going up. We have a huge facility. We have 3 different buildings on site. We have a dog park that facilitates our community's dogs to get out and play, but there's a ton of maintenance costs when it comes to those things. And then the medical side of the animals is, I'm very fortunate. I have a doctor on staff that is able to help us with our cases. But, again, for the average rescue, I'm sure their bills are well into the tens of thousands of dollars, and that's for basic animal care. That's not the specialty surgeries that come with a lot of our animals, like a broken leg, a bad eye, or things like that. And I'm sure Mindy can attest to a lot of those.
I was about to ask you the same thing.
Our medical bill goes up there. I mean, we just recently rescued 4 older Chihuahuas from a shelter, and 2 of them were 12 years old. They had to have their teeth pulled. They had to be spayed. So we're not talking a quick, low cost. And a 12-year-old Chihuahua, you can't ask, what, 500, 600? You can't do that. I mean, at 12 years old, you got to just do the bare minimum for a senior, and, you know, hopefully. But we're faced with that more and more because a lot of people are relinquishing their dogs because they can't afford the care. And then as a rescue, we do our darn best, and I know we all do here, to find whatever's wrong, whether they have something that we can see. You know, if we started running blood work for every single dog, the adoption fees would go up higher, you know.
Having paid for that, I know what you mean.
You know, so we do our best that we visually can see. Do they need a dental, you know, and then we do have a vet, you know, we're blessed with that. They'll double check and say, hey, you know, there's a hernia. Oh, please take care of that, you know. But that's additional cost that we will never recoup back, you know. For us, we're a little bit different. We're all volunteer there. So all our money goes right back to the dogs, but still our medical bills are sometimes astronomical. But, you know, I always joke, and I know our president gets mad at me, we're not good business people, okay? Because we think with our hearts, you know? So, and she's the first one, and she taught me that, you know, if you can save that dog, and it's going to cost maybe $500, but it's a good dog, you know, we're going to do everything we can. You know, we've had dogs that had to have their legs removed, just like everyone here, you know, and we do it. And we're not going to get the cost. I mean, we put a dog that, bless her heart, she was with us for over a year, non-adoptable. We spent more than $5,000 on her, but she was a good dog for us, you know. So we, as staff, or volunteers, staff, you know, we adopted her.
You were willing to give her that fighting chance.
We gave her the fighting chance, but we spend the money. You're not going to get back what you put in, but you're not in it to make yourselves rich.
We were talking a moment ago, I'm sorry to interrupt you, we were talking a moment ago, 4th of July, and then the issue came up of not just, again, the microchips are great, just at least get them a cheap collar, something that identifiable, but there's also the issue of anxiety pills. Go seek a veterinarian and get that.
Yeah.
For the pets.
If you, for the pet, well, you know, if you know your dog has anxiety, don't wait till July 3rd. Your vet is busy, as is call now, because if they've not seen him in a year, they need to see the pet. That's the bottom line. There are things you can do. I know everybody will cover me if I miss something. Please, for the love of God, don't leave him outside July 4th, okay? I'm sorry. The scaredest dog will go through a pane of glass to get away from something. And they will go through wood fences. It doesn't matter. If you love your pet, put your pet in the house. Put the TV on. Make it cool with the air conditioning. Make it dark. Be careful not to put a fireworks show on, okay? But put something on. Usually I put cartoons with lots of kid squeaky voices because it drowns out the fireworks, you know. And obviously if you get meds, then you can, per the vet, follow the directions. But the whole idea is keeping them safe, you know. But if you can't, for whatever reason, don't get a microchip, you limit your chance of getting that dog back.
Okay, we're about to wrap up. I'm going to go to closing thoughts really quickly. Just to ask you, clearly not everybody tonight, not everybody's in a position to adopt. What are some of the things that you need?
I think we all need financial, but we need volunteers. Okay. We need donations. When you go to the grocery store, buy a bag of trash bags, bring them to us, you know. Okay. Buy bleach. We go through bleach like it's water, you know. That's our biggest cleaning agent, you know, especially when we do laundry. Just things you use around your house, we use it too.
And we'll go down the line. Crystal?
Not volunteers. Actually, the financial support is what we need because we have a lot of goals. But fosters, because a lot of ours are, you know, abuse and neglect cases, and so fostering helps us prepare them for a forever home where they're going to be with us longer because we really need that help, that one-on-one care.
Ruben?
I'd agree. Fosters is probably one of our biggest things outside of volunteers, and again, finances is always helpful. But yeah, the fostering of young kittens, especially neonate babies. We deal with bottle baby kittens constantly. You know, that's one of the biggest things that we see. I think last year we saw over 350 neonatal kittens come into our care that needed to be fostered for weeks. And so we'll prepare you how to do that. We'll give you all the supplies necessary. We take care of 100% of everything besides your travel coming back and forth from the shelter. But fosters would probably be my biggest.
And Kaylee?
To echo that, really fosters is the biggest thing. We love supplies, we love the kitty litter and anything you're willing to donate, but we are also inundated with kittens that just need that round-the-clock care.
Proud to say John Dwelly, the gentleman behind that camera, has been a foster, and he actually wound up keeping one of them. Good stuff there. All right. Well, thank you. That does it for us tonight. We thank you so much. Thank our panel for providing your insight and answers and for being a blessing to so many animals. And again, we want to thank Miss Winkle's Pet Adoption Center for allowing us the use of this facility. And we got to tell you that animal adoption isn't just a hot topic for us. It's important to so many members of the Fox 26 team. You're looking at the wonderful pets that have added to our lives through rescue. We want to thank you for joining us. And hopefully you'll consider adopting the pets showcased over at kmph.com. Have a wonderful night. Thank you.